Elias sat on the cold floor of the central train station, back against a pillar, paper cup in hand, watching shoes pass like waves. People hurried by without looking at him. With every indifferent glance, one thought grew heavier in his chest. I'm just a beggar. I have nothing. I am nothing. That morning, while the speakers shouted about delayed trains, a man in a dark suit crossed the station. His step was calm, his gaze firm, as if the noise didn't touch him. Elias felt a sudden hope, stood up and stretched out the cup. "Sir, could you spare some change? Anything helps." The man stopped. He didn't look at the cup. He looked straight at Elias. "Do you always ask?" he said quietly. "Or have you ever tried to give something?" Elias frowned. "Give? Look at me. I have nothing to give." The man held his gaze for a second longer. "That," he replied, "is the deepest kind of poverty. Not the clothes, not the coins. It's believing you have nothing. Life is exchange. If you see yourself as empty, you'll always live from leftovers. If you want to receive, start discovering what you can offer." Before Elias could react, a train screeched into the station. The man stepped inside and disappeared between closing doors, leaving only that phrase echoing in the air. Discover what you can offer. That night, lying on the station floor, jacket for a pillow, Elias couldn't sleep. Hunger he already knew how to endure, but that question wouldn't leave his mind. What can someone like me possibly offer? His whole life had been reduced to stretching out his hand and hoping for mercy. He had never considered he could be anything more. The next days looked the same. Rush, noise, a few coins, but now each coin sounded different. It no longer felt like help. It felt like proof that he depended on everyone and added nothing. One afternoon, tired of staring at feet, he looked toward the tracks. That was when he saw them. Between cracked concrete and rusty iron, small wildflowers pushed through the dirt, yellow, white, and purple, fragile but stubborn, insisting on existing where nothing should grow. Elias approached, crouched, and touched them gently. They were simple but real. They didn't solve hunger, but they had something his life no longer had: beauty. The businessman's words came back, clear as if whispered beside him. Discover what you can offer. The next morning, before the crowd arrived, Elias carefully picked some of those flowers. He arranged them as best he could and sat again in his corner. When the first woman dropped a coin into his cup, his heart pounded. He took a breath. "Ma'am, wait." She turned, a little wary. Elias held out one of the flowers, hand trembling. "This is for you. Thank you for helping me." Her face changed. The tiredness in her eyes gave way to surprise, then to a soft smile. "For me?" she asked. "No one ever gives me anything here." She walked away, holding the flower as if it were fragile glass. A few steps later, she came back and placed another coin in his cup, larger than the first. That day, Elias made a new rule. For every coin, a flower. Some people ignored it. Some laughed, but many smiled. A child giggled when he put a flower behind her ear. A man in a wrinkled suit whispered, "I needed this." A nurse in uniform said, "You have no idea how much this means." For the first time, Elias stopped feeling like just a hand asking. He was part of a real exchange. He wasn't only taking, he was giving something back, even if it was small. In the following weeks, he began to arrive earlier. He learned where the stronger flowers grew, which lasted longer, how to tie tiny bouquets with string. People started to look for him on purpose. "There he is, the flower man," they said. The word beggar began to disappear. One quiet morning, while he arranged his bouquets, a familiar voice sounded behind him. "It seems business is blooming." Elias turned. The man in the dark suit stood there again, travel bag in hand, same calm gaze. This time, Elias wasn't sitting on the floor with an empty cup. He was on his feet, hands full of flowers. "Sir," Elias said, smiling, "I've been waiting to see you again." He picked up his best bouquet, wildflowers in all colors tied carefully, and offered it. "That day you told me life is exchange," he said. "I thought I had nothing. I was wrong. This is for you. Thank you for waking me up." The businessman accepted the bouquet and studied him. "Who are you?" he asked. For a second, the old answer, "Nobody," crossed Elias's mind, but it no longer fit. "I sell flowers," he replied. "I make people's day a little lighter. I still don't have a shop, but I'm not just asking anymore. I'm offering, I guess. I'm a merchant now." A smile finally broke the seriousness on the man's face. "Remember this," he said. "The day you decided to give, you stopped being a beggar. A beggar waits for the world. A businessman creates value. You changed your life when you changed how you saw yourself." From then on, Elias stopped counting only today's coins and started thinking about tomorrow. He spoke to a nearby cafe, offered bouquets to decorate the tables in exchange for a part of the sales. He learned to wrap flowers in paper, to write small notes like, "Have a good trip," or "You matter." He no longer stayed frozen in a corner. He moved, observed, improved. 6 months later, the station was still loud and chaotic, but one corner had transformed. Where there had once been an invisible man on the floor, there was now a small wooden stall with a handwritten sign, "Elias's Flowers, color for your journey." Vases, bouquets, and a line of people choosing, asking, smiling. One busy morning, the man in the dark suit appeared once more. He stopped in front of the stall, proud. "So," he asked, "how is life treating you now?" Elias handed him a fresh bouquet. "Life treats me like I treat myself," he said. "I used to think I was poor because I had no money. Now I know I was poor because I believed I had nothing to give. When I changed my mindset, everything else slowly followed." The man nodded. "Never forget," he said. "Your mind is the first place where you either stay stuck or move forward. Change your mindset and your life will obey." As the train roared into the station, Elias looked at his hands. They were the same hands that once shook around an empty cup. Now they worked, created, gave. The world outside was still fast and unfair, but inside him one truth was firm and unshakable. He had never been just a beggar. Deep down, he had always been a merchant. He just needed to change the way he saw himself to finally live like one.